I've been using the Pixel 9 as my daily driver for a few weeks now, along with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which I just use on the side sometimes, and I think this generation of Pixel devices actually made a pretty big leap this year, especially in price, which we'll have to see if it's worth. I haven't used these devices enough yet for a long-term review, but I wanted to show you guys the actual differences and real upgrades I've noticed on these devices compared to the previous generations, especially as a Pixel fanboy who's been using Pixels since my beloved Pixel 2 XL. So let's start with the hardware, as I think it's the best looking Pixel from the past few years, especially with the wintergreen color on the 9 and the elegant looking porcelain on the 9 Pro. The first big difference is the camera bar redesign, and I don't know about you, but it looks so clean and much more modern than the old one, especially since it doesn't slope down to the sides anymore, in which they're also almost completely flat this year, just like the iPhones. And making that comparison to iPhones, I swear that Google is trying to replicate the exact design of the iPhone series, because let's take the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL for example. These polished rails really remind me of the stainless steel days of iPhones, and then you have the fact that the displays are nearly the same size, the much more rounded corners compared to the 8 Pro actually almost match the curvature of the iPhone, and heck, even the bezels are similarly thick. But if you want your mind blown, I'm not capping when I say that it's the exact same weight as my iPhone, down to the gram at 221 grams. Absolutely wild, and felt like I was picking up the same phone, just with a different UI. And if that's why Google kinda did it, it's kinda smart, not gonna lie. And the same goes with the smaller Pixel 9, that does feel like I'm holding the iPhone 15. And just on a side note, I never really noticed this before, but coming from some Samsung devices I just reviewed, I really appreciate the lower position of the buttons compared to other Android devices, as it does make them easier to reach. Not to mention, the volume buttons below the power button is really useful, as I don't accidentally hit it all the time. Maybe I'm just used to it, but that's just me. And then you have the display, which is a significant aesthetic and functional improvement from the Pixel 8 series. First things first, the bezels are so much thinner now. It actually makes the Pixel 8 series kind of look ancient, and I'm also a big fan of the rounded corners on the display too. And just like on the Pixel 8 series, the brightness was already top of the class, but the Pixel 9 series takes things to the next level, reaching up to 2700 nits of brightness on the smaller 9 and 3000 nits of brightness on the Pro phones. I was actually so shocked when I brought these outside for the first time, because it was instantly noticeable how bright they actually got on auto mode and how easy it was to see the screen with the glaring sun in the background. They also don't automatically dim after a few minutes, unlike the iPhone, and it's just hands down the best display currently that I've tested. Weirdly enough though, the Pixel 9 came out of the box with only 60Hz enabled, which I don't understand why, and means that you'll have to manually enable smooth display. Another unfortunate thing is that as good as the content looks on the display, the speakers are really still lacking in my experience compared to Samsung devices and iPhones, and I can't understand why Google hasn't fixed it from the Pixel 8 series, despite many users online complaining about it. It's noticeably louder from one side, and it just doesn't have much bass at all, not to mention the sound signature being so dark, it sounds muffled and like the phone's underwater, which these phones can do by the way with the IP68 rating. The glass is also upgraded to Gorilla Glass Victus 2 however, which shouldn't mean extra protection, but despite how good they feel in the hand and how protective they are, I would still recommend putting on a case and screen protector, which brings me on to my favorite accessory brand, Caseology. Now, before you guys skip ahead in the video, this is not sponsored at all, but I'm actually teaming up with Caseology for a giveaway to give back to all of you in the Pixel community, and of course my lovely and loyal subscribers. I've been using Caseology and speaking cases since the beginning of time before I even started this channel, and they're just my default option all the time because they look good, they protect my phone well, and are affordable. 3 of you lucky people will win a full lineup of cases for their Pixel 9 model of choice, so pay attention to these rules. First, leave a comment down below about your favorite feature from the Pixel 9 lineup, along with your Instagram handle. Next, make sure you're following both me and Caseology on Instagram. And lastly, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. This giveaway is open to those of you in the US and Canada who are 18 and older, and good luck everyone! Anyways, getting back to some more upgrades, another major one I actually appreciate every single time I pick up this phone is the upgrade to an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, which is so much better than those old optical sensors. I mean, Google has upgraded them throughout the years, enough to where it's usable unlike the Pixel 6 series, but they're still a tad bit slower and less reliable than Galaxy phones, for example. Now the ultrasonic scanner, just a simple tap of your finger, logs you into the phone instantaneously while being much more reliable much more often. Just Just one word of caution though, to not buy a thick cheap screen protector, because while I was waiting for my caseology stuff to come in, it was nearly impossible to register my finger on the scanner without jamming your finger into the screen as hard as possible, not to mention it not working that well after setting it up. Face Unlock seems to be the same though, and I still love the fact that you're able to log into your secured apps like banking with your face, which is convenient, but scarily enough, my little brother, who is 5 years younger than me, managed to consistently log into my Pixel 9 devices using Face Unlock for some reason, and although we kind of have a similar face, it's kind of concerning, and let me know down below if you guys experience anyone being able to log onto your phone that way. Let's move on to some softer stuff though, because despite the phone still being on Android 14, we've got some new apps like the weather app, which just looks so beautiful. I love that the fact that the widgets on the bottom are actually customizable, meaning that you can move them around and put the ones you kind of care about near the top. The AI weather report feature is actually pretty useful too, and I found that it does give you a good overview of the weather in just a glance. The 10-day forecast actually expands into another screen showing the projected hourly forecast for each day as well, and most importantly, you can even have a saved list of locations so I can check on my best friend without needing to search the city up. Another thing I was actually really excited for is the Pixel Screenshots app, and it does work well when I try to find something, but I actually didn't use it as much as I thought I would, which is quite unfortunate, but I'm sure it'll still come in handy sometime in the future. Pixel Studio, on the other hand, is just another picture generator that I'll pretty much never use, but I can tell you that it generates super duper fast thanks to the Tensor G4 chip, which enables all of these AI tasks. This naturally brings me into Gemini, which I genuinely think is a game changer and not just another gimmick. First of all, it actually completely replaces Google Assistant on your phone, and only the Pro model includes an advanced subscription for a year, unfortunately, which does cost a pretty penny, but I actually use it quite a lot, and it's surprising how useful it is. Let me just show you guys instead of talking about it. You see, there's this one time where I was at a grocery store trying to decide what brand of ponzu sauce to get, so I asked Gemini, and boom, it gave me recommendations for the brands and even what differences are between all of them, which was insane. Another time, I was just watching an Instagram reel about badminton, and being a total beginner, I didn't know what the difference between a split step and a push step was, so Gemini literally explained it in just a second, gave me recommendations for YouTube videos to watch, and even created a custom workout routine for footwork. It even summarized a mochi donut recipe off a YouTube video the other day where my friend was eating one, and a Gemini Live feature that lets you hold a real conversation without you interacting with the phone was actually really useful when I was trying to decide what to get for my friend's birthday. Super duper cool stuff, man. And then you get cool camera features like Add Me, which I actually use countless amount of times and works really well actually. If you don't know how it works, basically when you take a picture of someone or a group and want to be in the photo with them, just hand the phone to someone else, in which they just need to match you up to the old frame, then click the capture button, and boom, you're automatically added into the photo. This removes the awkwardness in asking a random stranger to take your group picture, and the fact that it works so consistently well is actually amazing and a shocker to everyone when I show them. I mean, if you zoom in, sometimes you get some weird mashing and artifacts, but at a glance, it's really hard to tell. This is by no means a full review, so I don't want to bore you guys with camera stuff, but one thing I also do like is the faster processing on the video boost feature on the Pixel 9 Pro, which actually makes a difference in making videos look a lot better. I'm still mad that there's no 1x or 5x portrait mode option though, but more to come in my full review for each of these phones. But yeah, these are just some of the best upgrades and differences I noticed with these phones, and hopefully this video was useful for you guys. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them down below, and I'll try to get back to you guys as well. And just thank you guys so much for watching if you're still here, and also make sure to join the giveaway if you're purchasing a device and live in Canada or the US. Also, leave a sunglasses emoji so I know you guys are a real one. And on that note, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button to stay tuned for those videos, including my epic day in life vlogs, and I'll see you guys in the next one.